This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter. I'm welcoming you to the Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And this birthday boy on February the 23rd is Andrew Wiggins, a Canadian superstar. Obviously, I have to go national pride once in a while. So my national pride with this. Andrew Wiggins is only 26 years old from Toronto. He's a professional player for the Golden State Warriors of the NBA. He played college ball just for one rinky-dinky season with the Kansas Jayhawks, a legendary school, before being drafted first overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers. However, Cleveland decided to trade him to Minnesota because they didn't think he would fit in with their plans. But they obviously didn't want anyone else signing him. But then why did they trade him to Minnesota? But anyway, he played for Minnesota and is a member of the Canadian national team. However, Wiggins was traded to Golden State in February 2020, despite the fact Golden State was kind of sucky at that time. So then again, he looked good. He actually went to Vaughan Secondary School for a few years and then transferred to Huntington Prep to prep for basketball life and all that. He was rated as the top prospect for 2014, but announced he would be officially reclassify into his original high school class of 2013, which means that he would be the top prospect for 2013. However, a Sports Illustrated article criticized Canadian basketball Wiggins' work ethic. After that, he responded with a 57-point win over Marietta College. He was named Prep Player of the Year in 2013 and the first Canadian to be the Gatorade National Player of the Year for being the best nation's top high school player. All that. It was amazing. Basically, a lot of people gave him credit where credit's due. He narrowed his choices for college down to FSU, Kentucky, Kansas, or North Carolina. But he decided to go with Kansas, even though not too many Canadians played at Kansas. I know Jamal McGlure played for Kentucky. But anyway, he joined Kansas. He did pretty well for himself. He scored 17 points and 19 rebounds in a win over Iowa State, which actually became the second freshman in 15 years, alongside Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, to do that number against a ranked opponent. Wiggins did pretty well, 17 points a game, 5.9 rebounds, and 3-pointers for 34%. He was a semifinalist for the College Player of the Year. Wiggins did pretty well for himself against West Virginia and all that. I forgot if they didn't talk. They're not talking about 2014 if they made the tournament or not. The NCAA tournament. I thought it was. And all that. I think Kansas qualified, didn't they? So anyway, yeah. So Kansas was actually in the South Regional. Kansas was in the South Regional. So Kansas qualified in the South Regional and was the 2 seed behind Florida. However, after beating Eastern Kentucky 80-69, Kansas shockingly lost at Stanford 60-57. What's even more crazy was that Stanford was shocked themselves by number 11 Dayton, who went on to the Elite Eight, but Florida beat them to the punch. The 2014 champions were UConn, who beat Kentucky. And I believe this was one of the lowest scoring one of the worst shooting performances by both teams in history. But anyway, he declared for the NBA draft, and Cleveland got him number 1. Funny thing is, Cleveland had the other number 1 pick that was a Canadian. That was Anthony Bennett. But Bennett was a big bust. By August, he was gone. There was a 3-team trade with Cleveland, Minnesota, and Philly. Wiggins and Bennett were both traded to Minnesota alongside Thaddeus Young, who was basically the Sixers guy. The Cavs got Kevin Love from Minnesota, which revitalized them. The Sixers received Luke Mbamute and Alexei Shev from Minnesota, and a first-round pick from Cleveland. Wiggins was the second player since the ABA-NBA merger of '76 to be drafted as #1, but got traded afterwards without playing a single game for the team he was selected for. Chris Webber was the first, as Orlando selected Chris Webber, but then traded him to Golden State for their first-round pick. That was Penny Hardaway. He did okay himself. He did win Rookie of the Year, which was great and all that. And helped Minnesota do very well. He got a 5-year, $148 million extension in the 2017-18 season. You know, Wiggins was the sixth youngest player to get to 6,000 career points. He ended up being second on the Minnesota scoring list, as only Kevin Garnett is ahead of him. And then Wiggins was traded with 2 draft picks to Golden State for D'Angelo Russell, among others. Wiggins basically is a key part of the Canadian national team and all that. And, you know, his career is not that great being Golden State, where they're basically rebuilding from all those title appearances and all that. But still, I mean, guys got to be cut. You got to cut the guy a break. I mean, like, you know, Minnesota's not really a playoff contender. And then go to Golden State. Wiggins has 2 older brothers and 3 sisters who've played. And there's a lot of Canadians in the NBA and all that. This is a list of active Canadians in the NBA. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is with New Orleans. RJ Barrett with the Knicks, star from Duke. Cam Birch from Orlando. Chris Boucher is with the Raptors. Ignas Brissacius, he's Canadian? He plays for the Knicks. He's living and born, but he's Canadian born. Canadian heritage. Dylan Brooks from Memphis, star from University of Oregon. Nate Darling with Charlotte. Lucas Dort in Oklahoma City. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who's now playing for Oklahoma City. Corey Joseph, who's playing for Sacramento now. Mabule Kabengele from the Clippers. Trey Lyles is active. He's playing for the Spurs. Kareem Maine for Orlando. Michael Mulder for Golden State. Jamal Murray, catcher for the Denver Nuggets. Kelly Olynyk is still playing for Miami. Dwight Powell's playing for Dallas. Tristan Thompson is in Boston after so many years in Cleveland. And Andrew Wiggins. It's like amazing. And all that. It's like, come on. Give these guys. There were only 49 Canadians who have played in the NBA since 1946. And only 2 have been All-Stars. Steve Nash and Jamal McClure. I don't know why Jamal Murray hasn't been an All-Star, or even Wiggins. That pisses me off more than anything. But that's just me. Anyway, Andrew Wiggins is the hope of Canadian basketball to get to the Olympics, and get to the World Championships. National pride, people. National pride. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.